What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and we have a couple days now, so I wanted to go into some baseball. For anyone, and I know a lot of people have been suggesting baseball, asking me to do some baseball. The reason it takes me a bit is even for me to make the plays sometimes, I'm last minute or not getting them in because what I need to do is I need to look at a lot of things. I got to look at spreads. That's essentially what I do when I'm making these picks. I compare them to history and see which ones are within historical norms, etc. So I have to do that. Then I got to obviously look at all the matchups, see which ones fit those spreads. And it does become a lot to do. So, it was hard for me to do the baseball every single day just because of that reason, especially with the finals. But now we do have some time. So if you are new, and not even new, but if you haven't seen my rig system yet, this is, it's amazing is all I can say. It stands for rig because I did derive the system from a random internet guy, and I've made my own tweaks. But yeah, we ran this from, the first day I started the channel, and then March 21st, I just got honestly tired. I was putting up 2-3 videos a day, and I just really was like, all right, I got to take about a week off. And then when I came back, I started just, getting into the finals. So in the time we ran this, this doesn't even include the channel that got shut down. We were over 100 units net there. But essentially, this is how it works. Okay, it's going to look simple, but it's not. We're going to bet a unit on a particular game. If it doesn't win, we're going to bet 2 units on a game. And if that doesn't win, we're going to bet 4 units on a game. Okay, we did this, and I'll go more into the analytics of it and the exact, increments and how many legs and things of that nature. But by doing this and simply this, and this is all live time, so anybody can watch the playlist in order and see, oh yeah, he's right, like Spurs cover was literally his first pick. Oh yeah, then he picked miss. All these picks are literally in the playlist. I know it's lengthy to watch, but the reason I do that is now going forward, it's a lot easier. People can just, oh, okay, we had this team, this is leg 2, etc. So in this case, we're doing baseball, and what's interesting is the guy who founded this system, he founded it for baseball. I use it for other sports. We killed with it in football. We killed with it this season in basketball. Basketball was actually the weakest of all the sports. We still did a net profit on basketball because it's hard not to with this system. But yeah, hockey paid crazy, and baseball does, because the thing with baseball is we have the luxury of alternate odds, and it really does make a difference. So anyway, what this guy essentially did is he would take a team, say like the Marlins, and he's like, I don't think the Marlins are getting swept at home because they haven't been swept at home in the last 12 years. The Mariners have a shaky bullpen, whatever. He thought it was real, so that's why he would go about it. And he would just bet that the Marlins don't get swept at home. So he would pick them today. He might pick them to cover if it's 195. If they don't win, he got them tomorrow, etc. I don't use that logic because A, I don't think it's real. I think it's scripted. And B, I have found another metric that is, again, historically ironclad, and that's betting the spreads. You're not going to have teams finish 20% against the spread in MLB. It just doesn't happen. That's why when I was doing baseball earlier this year, I was hammering the Marlins, and we were winning almost every time because they were so bad against the spread. And the Rays were like 70%, faded them a couple times. Now they're about where they should be. But anyway, there are still some teams, and again, it's a system. So the way I do this, and if you're new, you'll pick up pretty quick. All of these are going to be leg 1s, all of our picks that I'm playing, okay? Now, we can't just play the whole schedule, A, because we like to pick our spots, right? And B, it just doesn't work. You get about, 12.5% of games and of all series end in sweeps. And besides that, when we're playing this many, unless you're doing like 50-cent units, which is perfectly fine. I actually know people who have done 50-cent units, and now they're doing about $5 units because they've built all the way up. But my point is, when you have that many plays, it becomes a little more difficult. Even just imagine trying to follow all of them. You could chart it, sure. But it also, from a financial standpoint, I've noticed trying to go between like 8 and 10 seems to be the right number. Or just in general, I try and play not too much more than 50% of the games. Sometimes we ran the schedule. We did it with the NBA, and like I said, it didn't do as well. And we still finished in the net. We did with NFL, and we killed it because even with spreads, we were we were like 60%, and with this system, we only need to be 33%. So without further ado, I want to go into two things. After like a year now, it's almost been exactly a year since my first channel got shut down. So many people have been telling me, do something, Patreon, we want to support, and I kept saying no, because I don't want to be like these other people. And then, a lot of people still are asking me and seeing if I'll do, like more exclusive content, more videos, and I love it. I really appreciate it. And the pickle I'm in is if I apply to get monetized, I am going to get shut down. That's just the fact. It's unfortunate, but that is the fact. So what I did is I think Patreon's a little weird. You have to. I don't like anything where you have to, pay to see something where it's mandatory versus an option. So I went on to buy me a coffee, and I put something together. And what I'm going to do is for baseball specifically, but for the system more, this is going to be more oriented to the people that just want to make money versus the narratives. I'm still going to put out more, those type of videos, but we're going to be doing the system daily and nightly. So minimum one video a day, and I'll upload that on there. And, if you're in, making money, like the way I look at it, if I can guarantee like for a year straight, and we didn't run the system for a straight year, but it was close, that if anybody tailed me that they definitely made money, then I can, in good conscience, go ahead and say, all right, if you want to support, then go ahead. So I put it in the description. It's just my buy me a coffee thing. It's National Sports Entertainment, kind of same thing. The official name is at NSE John is the hyphen. But again, this is absolutely no pressure. I really just want to let people know if they absolutely want to, you can. So anyway, I want to go into our picks anyway, and again, no matter what, I'm still going to put up videos. I just wanted to explain for the people that you want like 3 videos a day. I do try and get as many out as I can, and I really understand the people that wanted to get back to the rig system because it's guaranteed money, and trust me, there's nothing I like more than that. Just YouTube makes things very hard. It would have been so nice just to monetize and whatever, a couple bucks a month, it's fine, and it's just some kind of gratification. But I'm almost positive I'm going to get shut down again if I try. What happens is a human verifies the account when you apply for monetization. So at this point, I'm kind of flying under the radar. So anyway, I want to go into our picks for today, and again, this is essentially how the system's going to work. And I don't want to put this like poorly because you really do want to pick your spots, but you could almost pick the games out of a hat using this system, and you're going to see very quickly, and it's going to work. So we're up about 120 or so units since I've started the whole thing. But going into today, these are the games I like. All right, and this is how I'm going to try and post them too on the different memberships and stuff of that. It's easier for me to go over them, but with baseball, sometimes it's easier just to see it. So you see I got the Mariners covering the Rangers, and I got the alternate run line there. So the Rangers are the favorite in that game, and I got the Mariners covering. It's a leg one. So again, on leg one, I can afford to take a little more of a risk where we're taking, obviously an alternate run line, and it's about plus 190. The reason I got the Mariners covering the Rangers is very simple. Rangers are incredibly good against the spread. That, in my opinion, makes it where there's more likely than not people are going to take Rangers to cover. And, while they might, the Mariners, I understand that they could still cover the Rangers, but maybe they only win by 1 or something like that, or they cover the plus 1.5. I do understand that. But for value purposes, and because I don't think many people are going to be on the Mariners, I like the Mariners here to cover that 1.5. And again, 9 times out of 10, if they don't, we're just going to fade the Rangers again on leg 2. Okay, that's essentially how it works. Now I got Philly covering the Nationals. You hear I took the adjusted. Again, my logic is we got 3 legs to work with. The value I've learned is greater doing things like this instead of just taking the win and not getting even odds, or taking 1.5, and we could have got paid out better. And more often than not, if they win by 1, they're going to win by 2 or 3. There's more games that finish by not exactly 1. Now you have to be careful of that because they do make sure that on a lot of games people get clipped by that half point. You take the 1.5, it's a 1-point game. But here, I think it works. I like Phillies, not so good against the spread. Nationals are pretty good against the spread. And being the away team, I always look at that. Obviously, you're not going to be batting in the bottom, all that stuff. I like Philly to cover this 2.5, and it's about 150 there, and that's going to be the adjusted line. So this is going to be one unit down the row. Rays, Red Sox, both really good on the over. I think it's going to make people take the over. That's just essentially how I view this. So I got under 9. Now, another thing I want to go into is, and this is vitally important, the ESPN closing spread is like the AP press is for votes, like for elections, okay? The team rankings, if you go to FanDuel, any of these sites that tell you how teams are against the spread, you'll see different spreads ranging on different books. I'm sure you've seen it. They all use, not these books, but the ones that are telling you the records against the spreads, like on like FanDuel, they're all going by ESPN spread. Every one of them. So I always go by ESPN, and I notice this way, there's a lot of clips that happen, and ESPN just seems, again, to always have the exact, there's always lines up a team ranking, and when I use their spread, I don't know what it is, I just seem to do a little better than my books, so I'll always match my spread up to ESPN. With baseball, you're typically not going to get a run line that's different, even by half a point. You're probably going to see 9 all around. So this is more about like basketball, where it's like a 2-3 point spread on ESPN, but it's like a 4-point spread somewhere else. But it is highly, in my opinion, important to make sure the spread you're matching up is the ESPN spread. Okay, so if you're taking the under in this case, it's going to be the ESPN. And like I said, they've gone over a lot, so I like them to go under 9. Guardians, Twins, it's a case of the opposite. They've gone under a lot. Public's more likely to say these two teams go under a lot. I'm going to take the under. Pretty logical. I like them to go over 8. Rockies, Royals, I like the over for 2 reasons. Royals are not great on the over. They just don't get much scoring. And 9.5 is a little hefty. Anytime I see it around 10, I almost just want to slam the over. Anytime I see it around that 6.5, I want to slam the under. Because the public is probably just thinking, that's a lot. That's just how the public looks at it. If you look at the NBA Finals, when they're setting the over-under at 198 and 205, the under's hitting because people are seeing that as an appealing number. So I like the over 8 here for Guardians, Twins, and I like the over 9.5 for Rockies, Royals. Now we're going to have a double play here. I have the Royals covering the Rockies, standard cover, so nothing like an adjusted or alt, just a regular cover. And, 1.5, and it's going to pay plus 160. And finally, to round it out, I like the Padres and Cubs to also go over. So we got a couple overs today more because there's just a couple teams that are, their record on the over is just, they're going to start defying history, as I say, if it continues, and I don't see that happening. So a pretty modest day. Again, it's 7 picks. We could always move it up. We'll see how it goes. With baseball, again, I do like to pick my spots because I think they understand that people are just going to take, this team's not going to get swept, or let's chase this team. And you will see some slumps. Now, the reason baseball is so successful, and I want to go into the system for anyone that might not understand just how effective it's been and why it's been effective. I've done videos on it before. It's been a while. As you can see, every time we win, we get a unit, okay? So say we won all of these games today. That's 7 units, okay? Now, say we won 4, right? But the Rays and Sox doesn't go under. So we bet leg 2 tomorrow, it doesn't go. We bet leg 3, bam, doesn't go. Well, we've lost 7 units now. So we only need to win 7 sequences for every 3-legged loss. And this is why I explain discipline and money management is very, very, again, pivotally important in this system. So, as you can see now, if the Mariners cover that alt line, now we don't have to win 7 sequences. We only got to win 6. If the Royals make that cover, it becomes 5.5. It's very interesting and that's the reason I love doing it with the lines. And that's why I think hockey paid us out so well. What also makes this nice is when we move on to leg 2, typically the whole idea of the system, and yes, it's an advanced Martingale system, just with way more complexities to it. When you go to leg 2, the goal is to get your money back and to profit that unit still. Well, now, if we do a leg 2 at plus 150, it's not the same. We're actually profiting twice as much as 1.5 times as much as we normally would be. And instead of just getting 1 unit on that leg 2, we're going to get close to 3, units. So it's very interesting, and it worked really well for hockey. So I don't like to do a lot of like plus 200s on leg 3 because you want to be careful. So I will reserve a lot of them for leg 1, and I'm going to go way into more, all this way more. Again, I went into it before, but I understand now we have a lot of new people, and I don't even think people know that this is what my channel's about. I think most people just think I put out the narratives, which I like to do. But the narratives is what makes me make these picks. Now, the baseball ones are all metrics, but for the NBA, when I'm picking the Heat, I'm using those narratives for 90% of my picks, and then looking at the public odds. And the reason I haven't been able to do the system is, we have been doing it really, but it's okay. The Heat cover, we've been hitting the last several ones, so it's all been leg 1s. And let's just say we miss game 2, you run the system that way. So I got the Heat winning. If they don't, then in game 3, whoever we have, that will become leg 2 for our loss, and with the Heat. So if they don't come through, so it works with basketball, but I do like it a lot with baseball, especially because you have series, and I just think it makes it a little more simplified to do so. So yeah, we got 7 plays today, and again, there's so many times we've done this, and bam, 1 and 6. And then the next day, maybe 3 and 3 or something. And it's funny because it's the only system where we can hit at like a 33% rate and still profit. And I know some people that might think, oh well, what happens if you keep chasing and you don't hit it? That's why I made an adjustment. We cut it off at 3 legs. Okay, we don't continue to chase, because if we do a leg 4 and lose, now we got to pick up 15 units, 15 different sequences, almost a whole entire day slate, hit the entire game just to get that back. That's why I 99.9% of the time cut it off at 3 legs. I actually have done 3 leg 4s on this playlist. I've probably done them, I think I've done about 7 or 8. What's funny is one I did on Jake Paul to beat Fury, so that one really got me. But I was at a point where we could do it. We were doing fine for the day. So leg 4s I don't advise, and that's why most people that do the Martingale wind up running into trouble. They just keep chasing beyond leg 3. So the goal here is simply just to win 33%, and we hit at about a 60% rate. So that's why I think it's going to do really well for us. And we got 7 plays today. It'd be, again, on a day like today, the goal is even hit 3 of them, 3 or 4, and hopefully one of them is on the plus odds, and it really winds up paying for itself. But we'll see how it goes. From the limited baseball I've done, I think we've won 22 or 23 series. We've lost 1, so we lost a 3-legger, but we won like 23. So 23 minus 7, 16 units profit. It's something that it does work as long as you stick to the system. So I know it's not fancy, it's not a bunch of fun things, but sometimes the easiest money is just, it's like stocks. It's pretty boring, it's, pretty mundane, but it's also pretty efficient. So here are my plays. I kept this up so you could just, copy them, whatever you want to do, however you want to go about it. And again, leg 1 just means 1 unit. And these are who I like for today. And again, we're going to essentially have the same picks for leg 2. The difference with baseball, and the reason I have to, I'll have to daily go, into those slight differences, is we don't know who's going to be the favorite. The run line might change where, now the Mariners are an underdog, and it could just change a lot of things, or the Mariners are a favorite. So there's a lot of things that can happen depending on the pitcher, depending on how game 1 goes. So there'll be slight adjustments, but it's still going to be essentially the same thing, that we're going to be fading the same team or having the same team cover. So I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. As I said, I really do appreciate everything. I appreciate all the support. This, to me, again, this is a movement. We're going to continue to just destroy and clobber Vegas. And I know a lot of people just, are newer and maybe haven't seen the system, which is really where I wanted to dedicate my channel to. It just, as I said, it does become taxing doing like 2-3 videos a day. And not that I can't do them, it's just for a while, you have to really look into the analytics and things of that nature. So we're back now. We don't have basketball going on too, where we have all the basketball games to watch. We're trying to watch hockey. We're trying to So we're going to have some time to really focus on baseball. And, of course, I'm still going to cover basketball. But I just kind of wanted to update you on everything. Again, I thought the coffee thing was cool. It seems a little less cringe than Patreon. And this way, people, it's not mandatory. Just for the people that have been really, showing love and telling me over and over again, you got to do something. You got to do something. You can't do this for free. I listened to you guys. Okay, I put my ego aside and I listened. And I think, it's cool. I will have, like I said, for people that want to, follow the rig system very strictly and essentially have every one of my picks every day and night with like a written recap and all that and a video. I do have that option on there if you want to check it out. And if not, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to still put out the same content. I still appreciate everything. And, that's the reason I went with that one, is because it seems more optional versus, okay, now if you want to see my stuff, start paying, which I don't think is right. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think we have a good day today. And again, I think I wanted to go live for game 2 of the finals. I thought it'd be fun. And a few people said they would be down with that. So I think it would be cool. Probably around 7 o'clock. I think that's a good time. It's a little bit before the game. And we can go into anything. Obviously people are going to want to talk about NBA, but we can go to a bunch of stuff. And if you have any questions on the sequence, on the system, the rig system, you can ask me in the comments, or, if you want me to elaborate. But all I can say is, for the first, all the way, as you can see, all the way up until March, when I had to take about a week break just for I was like, I need a mental break here. And then I came back and I was doing just the narratives for NBA all the way up until, it wasn't even close. I mean, wasn't even for like a second where we even a threat of being in the red. We ran over 100 units and really never looked back. And it's just, again, it's discipline and money management. It really is. It's so many people that have followed the system in the beginning, and then they would told me, I just can't stop chasing. I do that like 4 or like 5, and I would tell them, just stop chasing. And then finally they would, and they would win, and then they just say, okay, now I get it. So I know it sounds very simple, but that's really all it is. It's having the discipline to cut it off at 3 legs, and understanding the value, and not just saying, oh, I just lost, let me double it up on this random game, instead of picking our spots. So that's really what it comes down to. And I'm proud of the fact that we are the only channel who can say, if you literally copied all of these picks, you're up 100 something units, and you can see it in the playlist. I only made the playlist because I made it so it'd be easier for people to follow, because we're doing picks every single day and recaps every single day. And as you can see, we have thousands, and every single one of these I copy and paste into my Discord, and they also we do the recaps of them every single night. Every basketball, hockey, college, football, everyone in here, again, we covered in live time, and wins and losses. We have a lot of 3-leg losses. Tulsa got us this year, and we still did really good with college basketball. But Tulsa alone got us for like 40 units, just because they were one of the teams that did really bad against the spread. But what happened is all these other teams, St. Francis's of the world and the Merrimacks and all these other teams, they came through for us. A lot of other teams, Farley Dickinson came through big time, fading them. There's a lot that goes into this. But it's also, again, it's something that for almost a year now has been proven. And I think that's why we got shut down the first time. So I think the first game is around 5 or 6 tonight. I'm not sure exactly what time. But again, these are my picks. And these are about, the 145 for the Phillies. You might get 140 or 150. But it's going to be, essentially, this is what I'm getting. So when I locked. So I'm guessing it's going to be something pretty close. And obviously the over-unders, you're getting even odds. That's why I didn't. You're always, but if it's like plus 150 or something of that extent, then I'm going to, put that in parentheses so and you should see it on your book when you lock it anyway. So, I think we do really good rolling forward with baseball. I don't know why we wouldn't. We started off killing it, and I think it's going to continue that way. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.